Badness no sir. Let me tell you how the badness stay. Copy bad fly when the Glock display. Tell a boy say no try box this face, back switch face. You know how your blood clot casket stay, boy. You must see you want back this spray. When the map stick raise that big straight. Shot this place, the key them in your head stop this beer. This face, the key never tell us we lock this place which locksmith. Anyway, watch this place, war with them funny like plastic plate, hey. We don't play around, when you see the UPK around. We bring the fucking AK around, AR-15s and AR rounds. We don't play around, when you see the UPK around. We bring the fucking AK around, AR-15s and AR rounds. We no take shape up. We no take date up, we no stay so. And when the next day come, we no change up. My heart them bad as them wake up. Yes, your boss boy head top shake up. So tell a pussy world don't violate us. No care where you status, where you take up. Every man a killer in this side the face, you straight up. Great stuff, one wrestling bigger than NATO. Man we bust it to NATO. Only man we afraid that are the creator, the maker. Hey, we don't play around. When you see the UPK around, we bring the fucking AK around, AR-15s and AR rounds. We don't play around. When you see the UPK around, we bring the fucking AK around, AR-15 and AR rounds. AR-15s and AR rounds. AR-15s and let me tell you how the badness stay. Copy bad fly when the Glock display. Tell a boy say no try box this face, back switch face. You know how your blood clot gasket stay, boy. You must see one map this spray. When the map stick raise that lick straight. Shot misplaced, the teeth them in your head stop misbehave. Catch his face, the key never tell us we lock this place which locksmith. Anyway, watch this space, war red them bunny like plastic plate. We don't play around, when you see the UPK around. We bring the fucking AK around, AR-15s and AR rounds.
All jokes aside, you know how niggas be like, I'm this and that for life, this and that for life. I'm on West for life, nigga, this a blood oath. Hey, yo, Madara, here go a class for you, my nigga. 140 for the rebel. The world turned its back on me. I'm a cripple. We got soldiers, he got soldiers, but I got different ones. Ain't no way out, I tell you once. Don't pray for nothing, sin and curse. We can't forgive us for forbidden. Remain in them trenches. Trust in the Lord, but please forgive me for the times that I did. If rank is given, have your respect to your apprentice. Be about your business. This loyalty's a damn sentence. Look, trying to pick up with a blind fail. They said there'll be many mansions. I'm just grinding for my time share. Them devils ain't playing fair. They hunt you like Van Pelt, but ain't no getting out the game like Jumanji. You take that oath, it's a Dundee. They try to deal death to a priest. You won't make it out in one piece. So you can stand. Just make sure you got the heart. Say your name 3 times and it's death do us part. Look. So how you feel about this truth I done shown? This ain't the life you think, little nigga. I should want. Even your own people go disown. And the Lord said they hate you for my name, so you better keep it on. Ain't no more guessing, ain't no more questions. Make sure my election till I'm tucked away like George Jetson. Murder for capital, now it's murder at the Capitol. The world in amazement, we like fuck 'em, raise it. I pity those watching life as it go by. Been giving mercy in this life, I don't know why. It pump smoke, never try to. The dead at home, my brother be the dead, it's sold out on. In the photo, salute my nigga. They like, how you stay focused? I told them I'm motivated cause of you, my nigga. Brotherhoods and weapons, still got weapons on the scene. And I never do my niggas like Bishop did Raheem. Never mind in all beliefs, they under anesthesia. Shorty say she need me, say she wanna let that love go. Told I let that love grow. But if I bring you to my bed, that's a blood oath. So, how you feel about this truth I done show? This ain't the life you think, you nigga. I should want. Even your own people gon' disown. And the Lord said they hate you for my name, so you better keep it on. Yeah.
to God. The white man is the devil.
See, I've been in here for a little minute. You know what I'm saying? And I see niggas, they like to talk a lot. They like to claim leadership. They like to claim this and that. You know what I'm saying? They like to be above what they really is and have authority. But they don't really need that authority. They don't really know what to do with that leadership. You understand? You hold hands with this white ass, need to stop and ask you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. See, everybody ain't with all that peace talk. Everybody ain't with all that bygone. Boy, ask you to stop and ask you to prophets. My nigga serious. Boy, when they hit us with dope and kill us with crack, where the fuck with your leaders? I'm curious. He cashed out on your blood, traded you in and bought a new biz. Ask you the prophets, I tell you the scheme. If you don't wake up, you gon' die in your dreams. I say you won't tell you no more. I swear these crackers try to kill us slow. Just spoke to a nigga and fed he up on parole because of the COVID. It feel like the host in this world that don't go together. Nowhere is gold in the ghetto. I'm in the city blazing with my niggas. Just told the devil the score never settled. Yeah, see the prophets. So I'm tired of these niggas keep talking about, you know, you respect my religion, I respect your religion. Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you the prophets. You know, like we all come together. Cause you know what I'm saying? They say God so loved the world. God so loved the world and know boy, your ass need to stop and ask you. Don't give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe. Nigga, gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. Hey, Jeremiah, we don't pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up. You know what I'm saying? Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you. Oh, I'm with step, I'm silent for show. To the fake niggas, stay silent, I got it, let's go, let's go. I ain't taking no losses, ain't no talking when we got the flow. Ain't no peace, just play with you. I'ma be loyal to the right arm. Tell him we can't keep it slave. And I can never let bygone be bygone. Got your baby mother on high, or high. Your baby pants through the fire. Ask you the prophets, that baby soul belong to the Lord. How dare you abort it? Devil will fail you, bitch, I can afford it. I prepare slaughter, you bring me my water. But your leaders weak, let them lies slip through their teeth. Their ass need to stop and ask you the prophets.
That's just the reality, Christians. I'm sorry to hurt your feelings. I know your pastor lied to you every Sunday for 30 years, but that's what the church is for, lying. That's why they exist, to lie the money out of your pockets.
Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up, serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga.
ISUPK presents Ask Ye the Prophets weekly podcast.
Every race in the movie.
We are not the trust. We are not the trust your president, and we are not the trust the other.
Send in your questions to askyetheprophets@gmail.com or Ask Ye the Prophets on Facebook. And your questions will be answered live every Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shalom.
He's speaking of his own.
The white man made himself be the Egyptians and the Israelites. And the virgins. Every race in the movie.
Shalom, shalom, Israel, shalom. Welcome to another episode of Ask Ye the Prophets. We are ISUPK production under Commander General Yohana, and everybody know we straight out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. That's headquarters, man. Big shout out to Captain Tazaryak and all the captains and officers and troopers down there and all them beautiful sisters who support headquarters, man. You understand? Listen, any questions you got, send them to askyetheprophets@gmail.com or send a DM, man, to Ask Ye the Prophets on Facebook. Y'all see, got this new mic stand, mic holder. You know what I mean? I appreciate all the donations from the brothers and sisters, man. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. It's not too small. Whatever you got, send it to, go to the Ask Ye the Prophets on Facebook, and you'll find the donation, the Ask Ye the Prophet donation tab, man, and donate what you can. You know what I'm saying? I'm still trying to get it flied out, trying to rock this thing out. You know what I'm saying? Today, I want to go into a few things. Once again, we in the anniversary of Tulsa, Oklahoma. You understand? Which for the first time, and show you that America's kingdom fallen, they're acknowledging it on national news. Now, what they're going to do about it, who knows? Black people, a lot of times, black and brown people, if you acknowledge their pain and just say, we know you hurt, black people will say, fall right back to sleep. That ain't enough. You understand? We don't have justice. We still dying by the hands of white racist citizens in America and the police in America. You understand? We still being murdered. You understand? But just in the spirit of the memorial, since our oppressor, he memorialized in all his soldiers that fought and murdered and oppressed and terrorized for this country, I want to memorialize our brothers and sisters who weren't in the ISUPK and they were just too ignorant and didn't know any better. And they tried to show loyalty to our oppressor, and they joined his armed forces and joined his military and went over there and fought wars and murdered and killed for our oppressor, showing their dedication, showing their loyalty, even praying to white gods and white Jesus Christ and believing in white disciples and white prophets. We showed our loyalty, man, out of our ignorance. We joined with the beast and showed we loved him and oppressed him. I want to remember how they came home from them wars and were ridiculed and terrorized and beat by white Americans because they wore that soldier's uniform, because they came home and sported the American uniform, the American military uniform. White Americans saw that as an offense and said, these black and brown people got a nerve to wear America's uniform and act like they proud. They don't belong here. That's in their mind. You don't belong here because you don't. You understand? This is their country, man. And even when you walk around proud, wearing their stripes and their stars, they still beat you. Let's remember all the brothers and sisters who came home after fighting for this beast and were terrorized by this beast on our homeland in America. And a lot of them were murdered and lynched, man. Often murdered and lynched. For sure, beat up and ridiculed and had their uniforms ripped off to where black and brown people had to stop wearing American uniform when they came home from the war. They wanted to show their pride in the hopes that white America would see, look at, that loyal Negro, he's one of us. We thought we'd be accepted. But what black and brown people don't know, if you ain't in the ISUPK, you don't understand our oppressor. He's not humane. He's not human. He doesn't have any humanity in it. He doesn't have the compassion that you're looking for. He doesn't have the mercy that you're looking for. He wasn't born with it. He's a different kind of animal, man. He's not a human. You understand? He's the most subtle beast of the earth, man. And his gift in this life that he has in this kingdom is the sword, man. It's murder. It's murder. That was his blessing from the Most High. The ability to murder and go to war and kill. You understand? So we're going to remember all the brothers and sisters who ignorantly fought for this beast and then came home just to be terrorized and murdered by the same beast, man, that they went and fought next to and thought that they were in solidarity with. America always shows us that we are not a part of them. When we going to stop trying to force them to accept us? When we going to accept the fact that we don't have nobody but each other? But that's the best thing, man. That's a wonderful thing, because when we got each other, then we can connect to our God. We can connect to our God. What I'm about to go into, man, is the fact that black and brown people, we are naturally and biblically better than our oppressors. We are. We're better than them. We're smarter. We're more athletic. We're better in every way, man. We problem solve better. We are the best at everything. The only thing we don't have that they have is power. Power. We don't have that power, and I'm going to show you why we don't have that power. You understand? But other than that, we better than these people, man. You see, right after slavery, halfway still during slavery, they didn't want us around them, so we said, the hell with y'all. That was the right thing to do. And we set up our own businesses in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You understand? In Carolina, we had a 500 black bus company, man. It was all hours. All hours. But of course, ignorant black people, they telling the black company, listen, we want to ride on them white buses. The black company told them, well, we don't have white buses. We're a black-owned business. He said, well, y'all got to do something to join with them, man, because we want to ride those buses too. That's black and brown people in our ignorance. And eventually that black bus company went away. And eventually in Tulsa, Oklahoma, because of jealousy, because our oppressors are jealous, and they see that they're slaves and the ones they want to be able to spit on and rape and smack and lynch at will, they see that we prospering way better than they cave behind, man. Bunch of cavemen saw us and got jealous, so found the smallest little thing to try to have an excuse to attack and murder us, man, and destroy our businesses. The plan was to destroy our businesses. If we had got away, we'd have got away. But they wanted to burn down those businesses so we don't walk around all dressed up looking good. They don't want you looking good, man. They don't want you independent from them and looking good. Come on, man. Not in America. Not in America, because they know deep down inside, we are better than them. We're better than them. And I'm going to prove it. You understand? I'm going to prove it. And if our oppressor would leave us the hell alone, if they would not interfere with us, we would always prosper, man. Even in our ignorance, not knowing the Most High, we would prosper better than them. Now, we would still be sinners, because I'm sure in Tulsa, Oklahoma, they were serving up all the pork you can eat. You understand? I'm sure they had all the catfish and crawfish. You understand? I'm sure they was eating abomination. They wasn't in the truth. But even in our ignorance, we can grow if left alone. We can grow to be better than our oppressor. That's for damn sure. We Deuteronomy 7:6 first. I'm going to a few scriptures. Then I'm going to go into some history, man. We're going to remember all of our fallen brothers, man, by the hands of this beast in America, by the hands of our oppressors in America. We're going to remember them. We're going to have a memorial for them. You understand? Go ahead.
Honorable Khan, sir. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Listen what the Lord said. Listen, y'all give me some ones. If I'm clear, give me some ones. If y'all hear your diet clear, give me some ones. The Lord said this in Deuteronomy 7 and 6. Read it again.
Honorable Khan, sir. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Y'all know what holy mean, right? I know our soldiers in the UPK. Holy means separate when you look it up. In slang, it just means different. Right. You're different. The Lord said, you're a different type of people to me, man. You ain't like all the other races that the Most High created. You different. You different, man. And that's evident in our everyday life. We wonder, why can't we go to work and work like our oppressor and drink coffee all day and juice up and bust the job and feel good about it like they do? Because they walk around smiling, drink coffee all day, snort cocaine all day in them offices, and they love it. When they go home, when they can go home and deal with their woman and break her back off, they call her and say, hey, babe, I'm going to work a little late. They rather have that cubicle than that meat that's at home, man. This is how our oppressor is. This is in his spirit, but this is not our spirit, man. We can't wait to get home and tear that backside up, man. We can't wait to go home and bounce our babies down. And our whole 8 hours sitting in that cubicle, we hate it. We hate these slaveries in America, man, because it ain't our spirit. We are different from these other races, man.
Right.
We can't work all day like the so-called white man. They're sitting in a cubicle, bored to death at this computer, halfway falling asleep. Hell, we'd rather be on a goddamn field doing some athletics and challenging. We'd rather play sport, biblical sport, with our oppressor than sitting in that cubicle all day. And when I say biblical sport, I don't just mean games. We used to play warfare. That's what sport is in the Bible. When you take swords and shields and spears and you play going to war. You go to war for play. We'd rather be doing those type of things, man, than sitting in a goddamn cubicle all day. That's not our spirit. Why? Because the Lord made us different. He told us, thou art a holy people unto me. Holy means separate or different. Read.
Sir. The Lord thy God have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
And listen, that's an amazing statement right there. The Lord thy God, you know who he is? If you really sit and think about who he is, he's the God that created that hot-ass sun that comes out during the day. It'll burn anything up to get too close. He created that. That moon that shine and give light at nighttime, he created that.
Right.
This earth with typhoons and hurricanes and storms and seas, tidal waves, man, he created that. He created that. This is his footstool, this earth, man. And he sits in the heavens, said it's his throne. And all the things that go on down here, the grass is fed, the animals are fed. There's a whole circle of life going on down here with each and every animal, all the way down to the tiny insect, man. The insect has his job. The bigger beasts lay dung down after they eat, and then it feeds the insects and the bugs, man. They come take that thing to their home, build homes and do what they do, man. And the Most High is controlling every little thing, man. That's how immaculate he is. That's how amazing and glorious he is. Beneficent. What the fruit Islam used to think, the beneficent, the magnificent, the benevolent, beneficent. That's the Most High. All those are his attributes, man. Right. Now, in controlling all those things, he stops the sea. The sea comes to a certain point, the Most High makes it go right back into the waters, man. Right. Unless he's ready to send judgment. Then he tell that sea, keep going. Cover the sand, cover them condos, cover it all. Cover them cars, them Lexuses, them Benzes. And now you got typhoons, man, and tidal waves. You understand? This is the God that's in heaven. And that God said, he have chosen us, man. Who the hell are we? Who the hell are we for that God to choose us over all his other creations, man? But he said he chose us to be a special people unto himself. You are different, black and brown, man. Don't beat yourself up because of it. Your woman, man, you can't keep a job. You go to the job and you can't keep, you say, baby, I tried. I went in there. I sat up in there. The damn supervisor's looking at me funny. He disrespecting me. He talking about, go get that. Go make some coffee. They hired me for this, not to make everybody some goddamn coffee. They try to humiliate our brothers, man, on these slaveries. And you wonder why we quit. We late on purpose because we don't want to go in. So eventually we getting fired. Now, black sister, brown sister, I know you mad at us because we got to pay these bills. But this place ain't for us. Help us out, man. Hell, oppressor treat you better. You go up in there and bring that loot home, man. Bring that bill money home. Let your man go be a prophet of God, man. Eventually, the Lord will provide for him and give him the things he needs, man. That can happen. That happens. Read.
Honorable Khan. Above all people.
What? Read that again.
Above all people.
So not only did the Lord say you are different, you're a different type of people. Not only did he say he chose you, and look at the word choose. The God of heaven that controls all those things I mentioned before. He looked at all the people and said, this one here, these are my people. It's like you got, I know you women, you know all them shoes you got in that goddamn closet. All them shoes and boots and Uggs and everything you got on is Uggs still a thing. All them nice things you got. So a few of them is your favorite. A few of them is the ones you choose out of all of them. You got a bunch of them. You got a million, hundreds. But you choose these. These are the ones when you go to that special night, you want to impress everybody, you whip these things out right here. You whip these out. You choose these over all the rest. That's what chosen means, preferred above others. You prefer these above all the rest of your hundreds and thousands of shoes. So the Most High looks at us and he preferred black and brown people over all the other races on this earth that he created, man. With all their power, with all their Yale and Harvard and Princeton, he prefers us over them. He created us better. That's just the bottom line. He has chosen us to be a special people. You special to him, man. You special. You unlike no other. You unlike no other. And the Lord said what after himself? What's that word? Above. A lot of people, you fight in America. Our people ignorantly fight for equality here. We fight for fairness. We want to be fair. We want to be equal. We want to just look. I hear who is it? Steve Harvey, one of them old big lip, big teeth, big head Negroes. Always talking about we don't want our own spoon. We just want to eat off the same spoon that you eat off of. We don't want our own spoon. We just want to eat off the same spoon that you eat off of. I said, you nigga Christians. Ain't nothing equal or fair about us and our oppressor, man. God didn't create us equal and fair. You understand? We ain't supposed to be eating off the same spoon that they eat off of. They got a whole separate spoon than us. The Lord called their spoon the vessels of dishonor and called our spoon the vessel of honor, man, in the book of Romans 9th chapter. We ain't equal or the same with these people, man. That's why the Lord right here about to say, he said, above what?
Above all people.
Stop. Above all people. This is what some people, you Christians, you'd call it racism. How you gonna say one race is above another race? That's supremacy. That's supremacy. Well, this was written way before I was born. This is what God said. This is what God said. He said we are above all people. Above all people. Read.
That are upon the face of the earth.
That are upon the face of the earth. Now, he ain't talking about the moon or Jupiter. You understand? He ain't talking about another planet. He's talking about right here on this earth. All the people he created on this earth, God said that black and brown people are above them. Above them. Deuteronomy 32 and 16. Above them, man. Salakia. First, I think it's Deuteronomy 14 and 2. Give me that first.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14 and verse 2. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Same thing. Again, the Lord is saying we are different. We are special to God. Special and different from all the other people on this earth. Go ahead.
And the Lord have chosen thee to be a peculiar people.
A peculiar. Same thing as special. Like we just ain't the same as these people, man. We are not the same. We walk different. Hell, like brothers always say, we bleed different, man. We just bleed different. Our swag is different, man. That's why our speech is different. And guess what? It's better. Don't think that your difference is something beneath them because they speak with a perfect vernacular. Their vernacular is so perfect and spot on to where they give black people grammar classes in college. In college, we got to learn grammar classes because they're trying to fix us and fix our speech. Our speech is perfect. Our speech is godly, man. Right. Our speech is godly. It's biblical. We are better than our oppressors, black and brown people. And this is what God is saying right now. I'm reading it out the Bible. You thought I wrote this? Hell no. Same Bible you Christians got. You just don't read it. And instead of reading it, you just believe every lie about it that your reverend and pastor tell you, or some devil, some oppressor tells you. Read on. Or what?
A peculiar people unto himself, above all the nations that are upon the earth.
Yeah, it is again. The Lord said we are above all the nations. A synonym for nations is races. Your race. Your race is your nation. Now, this is a scripture about race, and God said we are above all the other races. Where?
Above all the nations that are upon the earth.
All the races on the earth. All the nations of the earth. Once again, right here on this earth. We ain't talking about Jupiter. Once again, we ain't talking about Neptune. We ain't talking about nothing in the solar sphere. Right here on this earth. Let's keep it there first. The Lord said, you don't even understand the things on this little earth. You trying to figure out what's in space and what's in your solar system and where he's sitting, what's going on with the Most High, who his mommy and daddy was. Huh? You trying to figure all that out. You ain't even figured out yourself yet. That's what the Most High say, man. We are above all the nations of the earth, and that's from God. Deuteronomy 32 and 16. That's from God. That's how special we are. And with that, brothers and sisters, we could have all the power we ever want. Nobody could ever be more powerful than us. We better than our oppressor in every way, except right now he has the power. I'm going to show you how we lost the power. Go ahead.
Sir. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and verse 16. They provoked him to jealousy with strange gods.
That's what we did. Black and brown people over time, we start feeling ourselves and forgetting who made us great. Forgetting why we the greatest on this earth, man. Forgetting why we above all people. And we start looking at these people that was under us and acting, trying to see what they into. What you into? Let me check out this God. This your God? Let me see what it's about. And we start getting into their customs and their gods, man. Start getting with their women, which our God said not to do. And their women makes us weak. We become weak and we start to fold and we start to have an interest into the things that they're interested in. And before you know it, you smoking what they smoke, you drinking what they drink, you eating what they eat, and you worshiping what they worship, man. You worshiping what they worship. Solomon, one of the wisest men on earth that ever walked this earth next to Yahushua. You understand? Next to Yahushua, he was the wisest man on this earth, and he still was brought low because of these strange goddamn women, man. It's not worth it, man. Read.
with abominations provoke they him to anger.
So we made the Most High angry with our abominations, man. The things he said are unclean to us, we was doing them, man, every day. Every day, no matter what it was. Go ahead.
Khan Khan. They sacrifice unto devils.
We had dinners and ate food in the name of other gods and holidays that are not our holy days, man. Read.
Khan Khan. Not to God.
Go ahead.
To gods whom they knew not.
And y'all, we didn't know these gods. You don't know. Black people, they celebrate Christmas and don't even really understand the God of Christmas. The pagan gods of Christmas and Thanksgiving and all these holidays we celebrate with our oppressor. We don't even understand their roots. And when you hear a little bit about the roots, you so caught up into your tradition, you think, well, this is what I do now. I don't do it because of that. I know they do it because of that, but I do it because of this other thing. You're a damn liar, man. The holiday wasn't made for your other thing. The holiday is because of that thing that they made it for. And that's what it's about. So you can't now sit at the damn Thanksgiving table and say, well, I eat this turkey in solidarity for my fallen Gadite brothers. Like you gonna change the goddamn holiday. It's a pagan holiday, and you have no power in this land. Read.
Khan Khan. To new gods that came newly up,
right?
Whom your fathers feared not.
Right, and they came newly up. Why? Because they were man-made. Man made all these things you worship today. Religion is man-made. Got nothing to do with the Most High God or the Bible and or the Torah, the Creator. Has nothing to do with Him. Read.
Khan Khan. Of the rock that begat thee, thou art unmindful, and hast forgotten.
Read that again.
Khan Khan. Of the rock that begat thee, thou art unmindful.
You unmindful. Why is it saying rock? Because it's your foundation, man. Your strength. Our God, our history, our culture. That rock that begat you, you unmindful, man. You act like he don't even exist. You act like God ain't even real, man. You forget where your strength comes from. You put your strength in Joe Biden. You put your strength in Barack Obama, Bill Clinton. You put your strength in America instead of the rock that begot you, that made you. Go ahead.
Khan Khan. And has forgotten God that formed thee.
Go ahead.
Khan Khan. And when the Lord saw it, he abhorred them.
He was pissed off, man. When he saw how we acting over all these generations, after all that he's done for us, all the miracles, all the mercy he's had, we still go to hell off and worship everything but him, and he was pissed off. Go ahead.
Because of the provoking of his sons and of his daughters.
We provoke the Most High. We're his sons and daughters, his peculiar people, his holy people, who's supposed to be different. But we became the same. We became equal to these people on this earth, man, instead of above. And when we became equal, we pissed the Most High off, man. We provoked him. Go ahead.
Khan Khan, verse 20. And he said, I will hide my face from them.
There it goes. That's everything. Our God said, I will hide my face from him. That's when we lost our power. That's when we had no more strength. That's when he turned his back, and all the other nations and races that we were above, they got above us. They got above us because we had no power to stop them. Our God turned his back on us. We lost our power. He is our power. And without him, we got no strength. We got nothing. You understand? And when he turned his back on us, we became weak, man. We became the average Joe. We were not holy anymore. We were not peculiar anymore. We were not different anymore. We were not his peculiar treasure. Read.
Khan, sir. They have provoked me to anger. Sluggy.
I think after I will hide my face from them.
Khan, sir. Sluggy. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God.
Not yet. Before that, I will hide my face from them.
And I will hide my face from them.
And I will see what their end shall be. That's not next.
Okay. And I will see what their end shall be.
And so the Most High knew when he turned his back on us that all the people that we want to be equal to, they would show us just how equal we are. They would show us that we are not equal to them. And without the Most High, they are above us. They are above us. They get all the power without our God. And they showed us that. And I'm going to see what they end going to be. In other words, the Lord is God, the Most High is black. So he said, you know what? I ain't going to mess with them no more. I'm going to hide my face from them. I'm going to turn my back on them. I ain't going to mess with them no more. And then I'll see how they like it. I will see what their end should be, is I'll see how they like that. I'll see how they accept that, how they swallow that down. I will see what their end shall be. Go ahead.
For they are a very forward generation.
For they are very forward, man. Aggressive in the evil and the sins that we do. We are a forward generation. What other race on earth talks about being whores with pride? No other race does that. No other race of women walk around like being a whore, a full-out prostitute, a used-up piece of shit, in other words, and act like it's a good thing. On national TV, dancing whole concerts, whole whore concerts on national TV. And you think, why would they let that be on national TV? Why? Because our oppressor wants you to be looked at like that. They enjoy, they benefit when you are looked at like that. It just proves all the lies and evil things they say about us. Because you walk around like whores with your butt cheeks on national TV, like this is fly. This is, oh, I'm making so much money off this. We the only race on earth, man, where being a whore is wonderful. And you're proud of it. What other race on earth talks about murdering their babies like they just putting out the goddamn trash? No other race goes into abortion. It's my body. We should have a right to do what we want with our body. Bitch, you ain't putting out trash. You ain't getting rid of a broken TV. It's your child inside of you. You had sex. You opened your legs. And now you want to murder the sons and daughters of Israel, man. No other race does that. But our oppressor sees it, and he got Planned Parenthood all over the place for you. Oh, that's what you like? That's what they like? Oh, it don't do nothing but help us. And they build Planned Parenthood everywhere. Part of their genocide. Hell, they can relax a little bit. They ain't got to murder you as much because you murder your goddamn selves. No other race does that, man. The Lord said, for they are a very froward generation. Read on.
Children in whom is no faith.
And don't have no faith, man. Don't have no faith in the Most High. Put all their faith in America, in oppression, and the people that murder us. That's who we got faith in. Once again, Stockholm Syndrome. Stockholm Syndrome. The very people that murder and oppress and terrorize us, those are the people you put faith in. That's your God. That's your God. Stockholm Syndrome. Read.
They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God.
Worshiping everything but the Most High. Go ahead.
They have provoked me to anger with their vanities.
And remember, the Lord said he gonna hide his face from us. Tulsa, Oklahoma, they wouldn't have been able to drop them bombs on black and brown people if the Lord didn't turn his back on us. These police wouldn't be able to murder us like they're doing right now if he wouldn't have turned his back on us. If we wouldn't have sinned so much that we pissed him off, he had to walk away. Like that famous episode of Star Trek, which I love. I'm a Trekkie back in the day. Y'all ever heard of the Klingons, right? There was one time where Worf, somebody lied on him and he was dishonored. And he had dishonor among all the Klingons. So all the Klingons standing around, and when he came down, he was guilty. And he was dishonored. All of them did their arms like this and turned their back on him. The whole place of Klingon. You know how that must have felt? You know how that must have felt? I bet it felt like when Yahushua going to tell many people, get away from me. I'm paraphrasing. I never knew you. I never knew you. You understand? That's what that's like. Read.
And I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people.
So because we piss off the Lord, worshiping and loving everything but him, he said he's going to give us exactly what we love. He's going to give us everything but him. He said he moved us to jealousy with that which is not God. Go ahead.
I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation.
And provoked us to anger. Slakia. They provoked them to anger with their vanities. Slakia, you read all that, Slakia. and I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. He called our president. He don't even consider them a people. I said earlier, they have no humanity in them because they're not human. The Lord don't even consider them a people, man, and he created them. He know what he created. He know I'm going to create a race of monsters, man. I'm going to create a race of beasts and animals. They're going to look like human. They're going to walk around on 2 feet. And eventually they're going to rule the world under Satan. You understand? But they are not even a people, man. They are not even a people. The Lord said, I'm going to provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. And how foolish do you have to be to take God's children, man? Whether God is mad at them or not, you should still recognize these are still his children. You take these people and brutalize them for centuries and centuries, man, with no regard, with no fear. With no fear, meanwhile building weapons for the day when our Father comes to rescue us. Building weapons to stop him. Like you're going to stop God. Like you're going to stop the angels. But he's surely building weapons and been building them. And he's going to try. And like Cain, instead of doing right, he'll just try to get rid of the one that is right. So this man got weapons out here waiting for the Most High to come rescue us, and he knows his backup plan is if he can't stop the Lord, he's going to surely try to get rid of us. He's going to try to get rid of us, just like Cain did. Go ahead.
Honorable Khan, verse 32. Verse 22. For a fire is kindled in my anger.
The Lord is pissed off. That's what that means. A fire kindled in his anger means he is pissed off. Go ahead.
And shall burn into the lowest hell.
And shall burn to the lowest hell. And in America, that's what we in. In America, our oppressor is that foolish nation, is that no people that's over us, that we are jealous at because he has everything and we have nothing. And we are God's favorite. So we are rightfully jealous. So we better fix ourselves. We better fix ourselves because we are in hell in America. Read.
And shall consume the earth with her increase, and set on fire the foundations of the mountains.
Meaning everywhere we are on earth, we're going to be in hell. We're going to be in hell. You understand? Everywhere we go, we are in hell. Negroes think because you get a few extra dollars from our oppressor and be some entertainer or some comedian or some sports figure or whatever, you still a slave. Them same so-called rich Negroes, wealthy Negroes, they on TV and on radio talking about, they need to stop killing us. And we need to have a conversation. They need to stop doing it. They need to stop. Why they keep doing it? Why are they showing you that no matter how wealthy black and brown people get, they are always in control? You understand? Because if we had some power, we'd be like, wait a minute, they did what? I'm handling that today. Come on, y'all, let's handle that tonight. We're going to change these laws. We're going to do this. We're going to fix this. But they got no power to do a goddamn thing. That's why it's they. Why do they keep doing it? Look what they done. They need to stop. They need to look at themselves. They need to change this. They need to change that. Nigga, shut up and tell a joke. Shut up and bounce the ball. You ain't got no answers for this nation. You understand? You don't come back to the hood and fix it. Listen, I don't care what you're doing for the neighborhood. It don't work unless you calling Commander General Yohana asking him for orders and what should you do. You got $1, $2, $3 million to put together for black and brown people. Commander General Yohana, how can I make this money work for our race, man, and our nation? He's the one with the answers. Instead, dumbass Oprah Winfrey buying cars for Hamites, funding schools for all the little poor Ethiopians, and doing a whole bunch of things for for the other nations. Always inclusive. We got to stop being inclusive. We got to be about us, man. And once we back on top and once we stable and left the hell alone, then we can think about other nations, man, and other people. Where we at? So I'm gonna go to the history. I'm gonna go to the history, man, because we pissed off the Lord. That's why all these race riots that they celebrating about now, Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm gonna go into a lot of incidents that happened with the 12 tribes of Israel. If y'all don't mind, I'm gonna start way back. I'm gonna start with Gad, man. And listen, this long list that I got, this ain't even, I don't think this is a quarter of everything that happened, man. It's so much that, that our oppressor have done to the 12 tribes. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I'm gonna just touch on something that's known, that's popular. I know you tribes out there, you Ephraimite, like Barak Yad and Ashaparim, and all you Ephraimites, you Issacharites, Simeonites, you got history, man, how the tribes, the Spanish tribes were oppressed. We like to get it, man. I like to go into it sometime. No, Kazak Yad, the brother, I know he goes into it heavy, a lot of history, man. It's good to know all the race riots that went on with our Spanish tribes and how America treated us. So first, and y'all can look these up, a lot of them. This is the California genocide. This is way back between 1849 and 1870. 1800s, man. The California genocide consisted of actions taken by the United States government agents and private citizens, just like they go on today. You got the police, you got the politicians, and they join together with the regular old citizens, man, to come murder us and hurt us. In the 19th century, following the American conquest of California from Mexico, that resulted in the dramatic decrease of indigenous population of California. You understand? We're going to remember these brothers. This is our memorial. Remembering what our oppressor did to our family, to our 12 tribes, to our people. Between 1849 and 1870, it is conservatively estimated that American colonists murdered some 9,500 California natives. And you know, if they estimate 9,000, it got to be more like 30, 40, 50,000. Because our oppressor, pale-face, speak with a forked tongue. I know y'all heard that before. Pale-face, speak with a forked tongue. Their numbers are never correct when it comes to their evil and their sin. The acts of enslavement, kidnapping, rape, child separation. Y'all thought that was something brand new, huh? He was doing that in 1849. Child separation and displacement were widespread. They were encouraged and they were carried out and tolerated by state authorities and militias. Check that out. Check that out. Carried out by the officials, man, of the state, by America. While you crying about the Confederate flag, man, horrors and atrocities and murders have always been done and are still being done to us under the American flag. Under the American flag. That's that's what our blood was shed under. Go to another one. This is more Gad. 1805. Go back to 1805. January in 1805. It's called the Cañon del Muerto. In Arizona, Spanish soldiers led by Antonio Narbona massacred 115 Navajo Indians, mostly women, children, and old men. You know that's what they do. They love to prey on the weak. In Cañon del Muerto, northeast Arizona, 1813, November 3rd, Battle of Tallushatchee, Tennessee. 900 Tennessee troops under General John Coffee, and he's famous too, and including Davy Crockett, he's famous also, attacked an unsuspecting Creek town. About 186 to 200 Creek warriors were killed, which means about 3,000. And an unknown number of women and children were killed, some burned in their homes. 1813 again, this was later, that was November 3rd. This is November 18, the same year. Hallaby Massacre in Alabama. The Tennessee troops under General White launched a dawn attack on an unsuspecting Creek town, the same creeks. The village leaders were engaged in peace negotiations with General Andrew Jackson. So it was a setup. Andrew Jackson said, listen, we're going to come sit down and have peace negotiations with you. So while they sitting talking peace with General Andrew Jackson, the damn troops in Tennessee snuck up on them in dawn. It said a dawn attack. They attacked the unsuspecting Creek. About 65 Creek Indians were shot or bayoneted, just stabbed up with them bayonet rifles. 1813, same year, same month. This is on the 29th. Atosi Massacre, the Battle of Atosi in Alabama. Georgia militia, General Floyd attacked a creek town in Tallapoosa River in Macon County, Alabama, killing 200 Indians before setting a village on fire. That's how they roll. This is 1823, February. Skull Creek Massacre in Texas. After Coco Indians killed 2 colonists under unclear circumstances, the colonists got together 25 men and found a Caracalla people village on Skull Creek. They killed at least 19 inhabitants of the village before the rest could flee, then stole their possessions and burned their homes to the ground. Same thing they always do. You understand? Now, I'm just skipping. Listen, I skipped around. There was a lot more. I'm skipping around right now. In 1826, it's called Dressing Point Massacre in Texas. A posse of Anglo-Texan settlers massacred a large community of Caracalla Indians near the mouth of the Colorado River in Montagorda County, Texas. Between 40 and 50 Caracallas were murdered. 1832, August 1st, Battle of Bad Axe. Wisconsin soldiers under General Henry Atkinson armed volunteers. Remember, armed volunteers as a general. He started arming regular, racist, white American citizens who volunteered. We'll help you kill those niggers. Those Gadites, we'll help you. They were volunteers, and he armed them. And Dakota Sioux killed Slakia. Wisconsin soldiers under General Henry Atkinson armed volunteers and killed around 150 Fox and Sauk men, women, and children near present-day Victoria, Wisconsin. The U.S., they say they suffered 5 dead. And listen, between all these skirmishes, Gad would get a couple of them. Gad wasn't no joke. Gad would roll up on them and scalp them and do a couple things, but nowhere near the murder and the retaliation. First of all, our oppressor started it, stealing from them and murdering them. And then when Gad fight back, it's like, oh my God, look what they did. We have to call in reinforcements now. Look what they did. And then they murder us even more. And the Lord said, not to touch Esau. You understand? That's just our curse. You understand? We killed one of them, and hell, they killed 500 of us. That's just our curse right now. This is 1833. The exact date is unknown. Cutthroat Gap Massacre in Oklahoma. The Osage tribe attacked a Kiowa camp west of Wichita Mountains in southwest Oklahoma, killing 150 Kiowa Indians. 1837, Amador Massacre, where the California Mexican colonists under Jose Maria Amador captured an entire rancheria of friendly Miwok Indians in Northern California and killed their 200 prisoners in 2 mass executions, man. And once again, these are those conquistadors. These are the cavalry, the U.S. cavalry, and all of them coming over here, the Spaniards with those damn Spaniard names. In 1840, October 24, in Red Fork of the Colorado River, Texas, volunteer rangers under Colonel Moore massacred 140 Comanches, men, women, and children in their village on the Colorado, and captured 35 others, mostly small children. Lord knows what happened to our little brothers and sisters. Lord knows what happened to them, man. Go ahead.
If I may, sir, what you bringing out is just so heavy, sir. I can actually explain what happened to the small children. I'm holding something right now. From the article I was reading, from around 1863 to 1998, more than 150,000 indigenous children were taken from their families and placed in schools. The children were often not allowed to speak their language and to practice their culture, and many of them mistreated and abused. They recently found in Canada, an old reform, First Nation school where they found 215 dead babies, sir, of the tribe of Gad, and the youngest one were among as 3 years old, sir.
This is what they do. There's history out there to show, you know, when our oppressor first started all this, you know, they got Gad to agree to give them some of their children, and you know, and they would educate them like Yediah said. Then they came back and said, we would like to educate more of your children and teach them our ways and do this and that. And Gad told our oppressor, well, we see that the ones you've educated, you know, they can't run far. You understand? They don't know how to hunt no more. You know, they don't know how to survive. They can't take the cold weather. You understand? They can't take the hot weather. They've become weak. So no, we don't want you to educate any more of our children, but we will take your children if you wish, and we'll teach them how to be men. Gad told our oppressor, we'll take your children instead, and we'll teach them how to be men, because your education softens our children. Your education softens a man. You understand? That's how Gad rolled. That's hardcore. So, but between all of these riots and atrocities, Gad would get it in. He would kill some of them, but nowhere near. There's one story where they was killing. They couldn't catch Gad, so they got mad and started capturing their women and children, man, and murdering them. And Gad said, you know what? And while the army was all together trying to get them, Gad sent men around to their homes and broke into the soldiers' homes while they weren't there and killed their women and children. And then they felt the pain. Then they were horrified. So you know Esau, he started murdering triple time. Where we at? 1855 in September the 2nd. It's called the Harney Massacre, where U.S. troops under Brigadier General William S. Harney killed 86 Sioux men, women, and children at Blue Water Creek in present-day Nebraska. Same year, 1855, on October 8th, it's called the Lupton Massacre in Oregon. A group of settlers and miners launched a night attack on an Indian village near Upper Table Rock, Oregon, killing 23 of the indigenous brothers and sisters, mostly elderly men, women, and children. 1890, on December 10th, Buffalo Gap Massacre in South Dakota. Several wagon loads of Sioux were murdered by South Dakota Home Guard militiamen near French Creek, South Dakota, while visiting a white friend in Buffalo Gap. So now these militiamen, they were near the French Creek visiting family, right? And I guess since they're there, they said, hey, they got Gadites here. They got natives here. Let's go kill them. And found several wagon loads of the Sioux and murdered them, man. Just visiting friends. 1890, December 29th, Wounded Knee Massacre. That's a famous site, Wounded Knee, in South Dakota. Members of the U.S. 7th Cavalry attacked and murdered between 150 and 250 Sioux men, women, and children at Wounded Knee, South Dakota. And once again, those numbers are low because our oppressor can't tell the truth about his evil. Now, and again, there were Judites among them Gadites too. Judah and Gad always were together, man. Some Spanish tribes too. 12 tribes always mingled forever. You understand? And by 1877, the North, this is after the Civil War. This is, not after the Civil War, but this is when the North and the South were going at it. So by 1877, the North, what year was the Civil War? Slocky, do you know offhand? Okay, got it. No sweat. So by 1877, the North had lost its political will in the South, meaning the South, slaves were freed, so-called Civil War, and they were supposed to let the blacks and brown people go, man. But the South wasn't really in agreement. No sweat. 1861 to 1865 is the Civil War. So in 1877, the South decided, man, we're not really down with all this bull crap that the North is bringing up. Even though they won the war, we ain't gonna follow all that mess that they talking about, freeing these Negroes. So the North lost its political will in the South, meaning their will, the South wasn't enforcing it. And while slavery remained abolished, the black codes and segregation laws helped erase most of the freedom passed by the 14th and 15th Amendment. Through violent economic tactics and legal technicalities, African Americans were forced into sharecropping and were gradually removed from the voting process. So they wasn't even part of the American system no more. You know what I'm saying? Of choosing to be who to be the leader and all of that there. You understand? The lynching era, 1878 to 1939, which is, you know, this is our oppressor, and lynching never stopped. It never stopped. You understand? Lynching, defined as the killing of an individual or small group of individuals by a mob of people, white people, was a particular form of ritualistic murder. I mean, it was a ritual. I mean, it was like the 4th of July. It was like a holiday when they got somebody black and brown to lynch or a Gadite to lynch. They turned it into a full-out celebration and holiday. It was a ritual, a ritualistic murder. Only our oppressor, man, could have ritualistic murder, often involving the majority of the local white community. Lynching was sometimes announced in advance and became a spectacle for an audience to witness. That's what our murder and our brutalization was. It was a spectacle, which they would announce ahead of time, put it in the paper. Tomorrow, come on out at noon, boy. We're going to lynch these Negroes. It's going to be a wonderful time. Bring the hot dogs, bring the marshmallow, bring the kids, bring the cotton candy. We're going to have a good time. Bring the photographers, bring the news, bring them all out for this lynching. A study done of 100 lynchings from 1929 to 1940 discovered that at least 1/3 of the victims were innocent of the crimes of which they were accused. Check that out. That ain't no surprise to us. We sitting in our oppressor's prison, innocent as all be damned. You understand? Racial and ethnic, and I sent you a picture too. I'll probably pull it up in a minute. Racial and ethnic cleansing took place on a large scale in this time period, particularly toward Native American Indians, who were forced off their land and relocated to reservations, along with Native Americans and African Americans throughout the United States, were rounded up and expunged from towns under threat of mob rule. Mob rule, man. This is what they do. This is what our oppressors do. They get together as a mob with all their guns and their goddamn rope and knives and oppress us, man. Steal our homes, chase us out, murder us if we ain't running fast enough. If we running fast enough and we get away, they just claim our land. Now in 2021, we got no land, no ownership, own less than 1% of the wealth in America. You understand? Along with, let me see, mob rule, expunged from towns under threat of mob rule, often intending to harm their targets, the murderers. Like lynchings, race riots often had their roots in economic tensions or in white defense of the color line. So when white people having problems financially, they turn to us. These Negroes is the problem. We need slaves, or they making more money than us. How the black farmer gonna be doing better than us? How the black farmers and the black sharecroppers gonna be doing better than us? Why? Because we are better than you. That's why. Even in our ignorance, we're better than you. But once again, they see that, and then they start to defend the color line that they created. Like Negroes should not be equal to us or above us. Black and brown people should not be doing good while we doing bad. That's how they feel. In 1877, for example, 10,000 workers at sugar plantations in Louisiana, organized by the Knights of Labor, went on strike for an increase of their pay for $1.25 a day. They just wanted $1.25. Most of the workers were black, and it infuriated Governor Samuel Douglas McEnery, who declared that God Almighty has himself drawn the color line. The militia was then called in, but they withdrew to give free rein to a lynch mob in Thottix. The mob murdered between 20 and 300 blacks. Where they get the 20 from? Our oppressor's a trip, man. If he say 20 to 3,000, it means they had to murder about 2,000 people. A black newspaper described the scene. This is what a black paper said. It says 6 killed and 5 wounded, and what the daily papers here say. But from an eyewitness to the whole transaction, we learned that no less than 35 Negroes were killed outright, lame men and blind women shot, children and hoary-headed grandsires ruthlessly swept down. They murdered our blind people, man, our crippled, our women, our children, our old people, man. That's the hoary head mean. Ruthlessly swept down. The Negroes offered no resistance. They could not, as the killing was unexpected. Those of them not killed took to the woods, a majority of them finding refuge in the city. This is what they've always done to us, always murdered us, man. We've never been free from these people and their oppression. In 1891, a mob lynched Joe Coe, a black worker in Oklahoma, Nebraska, suspected of attacking a young white woman. Here we go again. Here we go again. The brother was suspected of attacking a young white woman from South Omaha. Approximately 10,000 white people reportedly swarmed the courthouse, setting it on fire. They took Coe from his jail cell, beating and then lynching him. Reportedly, 6,000 people visited Coe's corpse during a public exhibition, at which pieces of the lynching rope were sold as souvenirs. That sound familiar, Israel? They took pieces of the lynching rope and sold it as souvenirs. That should ring real familiar when you read our Bible, man, and you read about our king on the cross. They ripped his clothes, ripped the clothes off of him, and ripped it up and divided it out for the spoil, man. For the spoil. That's what they did to our king, man. This was a period when even officially sanctioned executions, officially, meaning the government, the U.S. government said it's okay to kill them and murder them. When even officially sanctioned executions, such as hangings, were regularly conducted in public, man. In public. Now we're in 1906, the Atlanta race riots. The Atlanta race riots were violent attacks by armed mobs of white Americans against African Americans in Atlanta, Georgia, began on the evening of September 22, 1906, and lasted through September 4th. The events were reported by the newspapers around the world, including the French Journal, which described lynchings in the USA and the massacre of Negroes in Atlanta. The Scottish paper, they released a paper and a journal under the headlines, Race Riots in Georgia. And the London Evening Standard paper, their paper was titled Anti-Negro Riots and Outrage in Georgia. The final death toll of the conflict is unknown, of course, and dispute is unknown to our oppressor. But it's black and brown people sitting somewhere that are witnesses or heard from the witnesses. They know the true count. They know the history. But officially, at least 25 African Americans were murdered. Unofficial reports range from 10 to 100 that were murdered during the massacre. According to the Atlanta History Center, some black Americans were hanged from lampposts, others were shot, beaten, or stabbed to death. They were pulled from streetcars and attacked on the street. White mobs invaded black neighborhoods, destroying homes and businesses. Listen, all that's coming back to America, man. You Christians better get ready. I don't know what y'all gonna do. I guess y'all gonna pray. When y'all hear them shots and y'all hear that yee-hoo in your hood, I guess y'all gonna just drop to your knees and pray to white Jesus, huh? White Jesus, come down and save you, man. Hallelujah. While they shooting your children in the back of the head, man. The East St. Louis riot of 1917. White rioters killed an estimated 100 black residents of East St. Louis. Omaha race riot of 1919. The Omaha race riot, I'm trying to speed through because I want to get to a few of these questions. The Omaha race riot occurred in Nebraska, September 28th to 29th in 1919. It resulted in the lynching of Willie Brown, and that's the picture I got, of Willie Brown, a black civilian, a public rampage by thousands of white rioters who set fire to the Douglas County Courthouse in downtown Omaha. It followed more than 20 race riots. There were 20 whole race wars that occurred in major industrial cities of the United States during the Red Summer of 1919. This is even before Tulsa. They called it the Red Summer because of all the murder, man. And I know that it says race riot, but you mind this race murder, race wars. You understand? You got? Do they see the brother? No sweat. This brother here. Do they got a caption ain't under? I don't think I got the caption. But this brother here, this picture you seeing, this is the brother. What's his name? Will Brown, man. This is what they did to him. Set him on fire, man. He reared back, looked like in total agony from being burned to death. And look at the sea of white folk, man. These devils, man, these beasts, these monsters, they come out and they love it. It's a holiday for them. It's like July 4th. They probably got fireworks. Fireworks, the grills is out, everything. Bungee houses or whatever they had for bungee houses back then, all that set up for the kids, everything. They had a good time whenever they murdered us. You understand? And that was Nebraska. Chicago race riot in 19. And once again, it said about 20 race riots occurred in Chicago, the race riot of 1919. There was a violent racial conflict started by white people, white Americans, against black people that began in the south side of Chicago, Illinois, on July 27th and ended on August 3rd. It say 23 blacks were murdered. Approximately 1,000 to 2,000, most of whom were black, lost their homes. It's considered the worst of the nearly 25 riots or wars or murders and civil disturbances in the United States during the Red Summer of 1919. Then, of course, we've been talking about Tulsa forever. Tulsa in 1921. If I could just run down real quick. Tulsa, Oklahoma, for whoever don't know. Tulsa, Oklahoma started because there was a brother, a 19-year-old brother, you know what I'm saying, that did shine shoes. He shined shoes. His name was Dick Rowland, 19 years old. There was no white bathrooms where he worked at. His boss, he made a deal with another building up the street. Can my employees come use your colored bathroom on your fourth floor? They said, fine. So the black and brown people would go to that colored bathroom down the street on the fourth floor. So in this building on the fourth floor, there was an elevator operator, a woman. I forget her name, an Edomite, of course. Something happened while he going up there where they say the elevator must have jerked or something happened where he might have touched her or bumped her, and she had a fit. She had a goddamn fit. A black man touching me, what's wrong with him, this and that. A white man hurt her, and he made a big deal and called the police. You understand? The brother ran. The brother said, oh my God, he saw what was about to happen. He got the hell out of it. Why? Because they know our oppressor will murder you. So he got the hell out of there. Eventually the police were called, and the police came and arrested the brother, you understand, for assault. Now, the assault turned into rape once the papers got a hold of it. A black man assaulted a white woman. Oh my God. He put it in the press. Black man sexually assaults white woman in elevator. Oh no. Now all the oppressors hearing about it. It's spreading. So now they all come to the jail. White mobs, like they always do, come to the prison. And they want them to let this brother go. Give him to us so we can lynch him. Give him to us so we can murder him. The police had him in a cell at the top of the building. They said, no, we're not going to give him to you for now. So black people start hearing about it in Tulsa. And they got their guns there. They had a whole meeting, like, should we go armed? Should we go unarmed? Should we send one person? Should we send a few people? Should we bring a lot of people? They decided we're going to go down there armed with a small group. They went down to the courthouse in the jail, and the white people saw them. So they went to the sheriff, they went to the police, said, we here just to see if y'all need a hand protecting the brother in the cell. We're here to give our hand. And the police told them, no, we don't need a hand right now. He's good. We're not going to let them get him. So the brothers left. They left. You know what I'm saying? But these white people was pissed off. How dare these niggas come here with weapons and talk about they're going to defend the prisoner. They're going to stop us. So they went home. The ones that weren't armed, those white people went home and got their guns. They got all their pipe bombs or whatever white people do. They went and got more reinforced, called their cousins and their hillbilly half sister, half cousins, and half nephews and brothers. You know, all the incest going on. They got them all cross-eyed, 2 teeth, tobacco chewing, and all that. They got their guns and weapons, and it was a mob. They came back to that jailhouse, man. So now that spread, and black people heard about that. So now they called, black people got together once again. We were well-to-do in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We had money for guns, and we had family, and we had a lot of people. So we got the brothers together and got our weapons, and we went back to the jailhouse in bigger numbers. So now we right here at the courthouse on one side, our oppressors on the other with all his guns and all his people. And they say it's just they're standing there. So our oppressor must have got one Edomite and said, man, go over there and say something to them. He said, I will. You know Esau, one of them got to try. So one devil, he walks over to the black group. Say, what y'all here with them guns for? Why y'all, what you doing with guns? Why you here with guns, Negro niggers? I'm sure they said niggers. And the black people said, ain't none of your goddamn business. What business is it of yours? What gun I have? And then the devil tried to take the gun. How bold can you be? You a devil and a crowd of black men with guns, but you feel so superior, you think you can take the gun out of this man's hands and nothing happened. So he tried to take the gun. They struggled a little bit, and nobody knows what happened or who fired the first shot. First shot went off. Second shot, now it's all hell and pandemonium in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And of course, our oppressors outnumbered us. So we fled back to our neighborhood in Greenville, right? But there were train tracks that you had to cross to get to Greenville. So our brothers and sisters made a last stand across them train tracks, and they held them devils off. And the devils, you know, every time they came to try to go to them train tracks, they would be met with force. So they backed up, retreated. You understand? And so now the fighting stopped. It was late into the night, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. The brothers say things were quiet. They thought they won. They thought it was over. Meanwhile, of course, our oppressor is getting more people to join and plotting on when they're going to attack Greenville. They got these devils with aeroplanes and bombs and loaded them planes with bombs. And they said, and I guess they figured since it's nighttime, we can't see them niggas. That's why they whooping our ass. So we're going to wait till dawn. They said they waited till dawn and launched a full-out attack. They sent the airplanes in first and started dropping like kerosene bombs. I forget what they call them. The more homemade kerosene bombs, start dropping them on the buildings inside of Greenville from airplanes, just like the Move. Y'all remember Move not too long ago in Philadelphia? They doing that recent, showing you times ain't never changed, man. Times ain't never changed. They were dropping homemade bombs on Tulsa. And so while black people was dealing with that, and the women and children running and the brothers trying to defend them businesses, they attacked the brothers on the train tracks, and they came from all sides, and they eventually overcame, man, and started murdering the brothers at will, pulling them out of their houses. Brothers started running out of the houses, women and children, they started hiding. There was some white people in outside cities that were hiding black people. That always happens too. They started hiding us. A lot of us went into the woods running, you understand, trying to get away. And once we were gone, they were just murdering whoever they could find and then start burning all the businesses because they said that we can't let them come back and be doing better than us, because that's what the whole thing really was about. Getting rid of this old black uppity community that think they better than us, that they don't need us. They burned down all the homes and the businesses, man. And that's what happened. That's what happened in Tulsa. You know what I'm saying? Unless you want to add something, anything I'm missing. You know what I'm saying? Now, and 2 years later, 1 year later, there was another massacre. You can look it up in Perry, Florida, called the Perry Massacre. The Perry Massacre. Another year later, 1923, you had Rosewood. Then in 1935, you had Watsonville, California, Harlem, Manhattan, New York. There was a race war during around that time. 1943, there was a race war in Detroit, Michigan, man. 1965, August 11th to 16, you had the Watts riots, sometimes called the Watts Rebellion or the Watts Uprising. Took place in the Watts neighborhood and its surrounding areas of LA. You understand? 1967 in Newark, New Jersey, you had riots. Slocky. Yeah, you had riots in Newark, man. That happened 2 years after the LA riots that we just mentioned. What else? 1967, Newark riots 2 years after the, okay, so 1965, actually, the LA riots happened. In 1967, you had the Newark riots. One of 159 race wars that swept the cities in the United States during the long, hot summer of 1967. And next year, April of 1968, of course, they shot Martin Luther King, murdered the Christian because they hated black people. And Christians, you know, they just try to force you to love white people, but white people ain't want you begging their love. And they don't want you sitting at their restaurant. So they murdered Martin Luther King, got rid of him. During the same period, and since then, violent acts committed against African American churches and their members have been commonplace. Ain't never stopped. Ain't never stopped. What was Dylan Roof? We just had Dylan Roof a minute ago, a couple years back. 1980, the Miami riots were catalyzed by the killing of African American motorists by 4 white Miami-Dade police officers. They were subsequently acquitted and on charges of manslaughter and evidence tampering. So they messed with the evidence. They obviously murdered the brother, you understand, but they were acquitted. Similarly, the 6-day 1992 LA riots erupted after the acquittal of 4 white LAPD officers who had been filmed beating the holy piss out of Rodney King, a black motorist. The Cincinnati riots in 2001 were caused by the killing of 19-year-old African-American Timothy Thomas by white police officer Stephen Roach, who was subsequently acquitted. 2014, and again, what I'm saying, this ain't even everything. This is not even everything. 2014, Ferguson unrest occurred against a backdrop of racial tension between police and the black community of Ferguson, Missouri, in the wake of the police shooting of Michael Brown. According to the Associated Press annual poll of the United States news directors and editors, the top news stories of 2014 were police murdering of unarmed black people, man, including Michael Brown. You understand? So I'm gonna stop that there. I'm gonna end that there. Let me see. Yeah, Freddie Gray was the next year. There's a ton of them, man. It ain't never stopped. Freddie Gray, man. Sandra Bland. Amadou Diallo was years ago in New York. But what's the brother? Orlando Castillo. You understand? Freddie Gray. Big brother in New York. Mike Brown. No, Mike Brown was Ferguson, right? Brother with the cigarettes and the CD. I forget his name. I don't know why. Eric Garner. Eric Garner. You understand? George Floyd not too long ago. Breonna Taylor not too long ago. You understand that the brother went to sleep in the goddamn parking lot. Shad Brooks, he trying not to drive. He trying to get some damn arrest. Right. Who was his name? Ahmaud Arbery. Ahmaud Arbery can't even jog down the block, huh? You understand? So many, man. The brother that the police jumped out hillbilly style out the truck, he pulling off, they murdered him. You understand? Meanwhile, around that same time, you had some old white man with a white pickup truck banging the hell out of the police vehicles with the police hanging onto the side of his car, another one on the other side with a shotgun, and one shot was never fired. One shot wasn't fired. You understand? This is how they treat us, man. This is not our rest. Micah 2:10 says this is not our rest. You understand? This is not our rest. Let me get into these questions now. So first, let me slack you. Gotta go into some scriptures. Isaiah 49:14. And the Most High sees all of this, man. From Gad to Judah to Issachar to Ephraim to Levi to Simeon, all the 12 tribes and all the atrocities that have been done to us by the hands of our oppressor, the Most High ain't missing none of it. Trust and believe. Read.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 49 and verse 14. But Zion said, the Lord hath forsaken me, and my Lord hath forgotten me. Can a woman forget her suckling child?
That's what we say, man. Ain't no God. Look at all this killing, all this murdering, man. Ain't nobody for us. I don't believe in God. I don't believe in God. You better recognize that the Most High turned his back on us. That's why all this killing is going on. That's why all this killing is going on. We in the ISUPK, we fighting to win him again. We fighting to get on the Lord's favor again through the spirit of our King Yahushua. You understand? So that he can turn his face towards us again. So we can receive his mercy and receive power again. Go ahead.
That she should not have compassion on the son of her womb.
The Most High asking a question. Can a woman forget her child? Can a woman not have compassion on the son that come out of her own behind, out of her own womb? Read.
Yea, they may forget.
Well, maybe they can. Maybe they can do it. Read.
Yet will I not forget thee.
But I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. The Most High said maybe they can forget their children, but I'm not going to forget my children. The Lord going to avenge us, brother. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be brutal. And it's going to be magnificent, man. He ain't forget about none of his sons that they put down and murdered. He haven't forgot about any of his daughters that our oppressor have put down and murdered, man. None of them. Revelation 18 and 5. Most High ain't going to forget. You think he got a bad memory? Hell no. Hell no. Even when he say, I have remembered them, which he about to say, it ain't like he say, oh, I forgot. Now I remember. No. I remember thee, meaning now they on deck now. Now I'm about to put my hands to dealing with them. That's what I remember them mean. Read.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 18 and verse 5. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God have remembered her iniquities.
Her sins, all the murder, all the atrocities for centuries and centuries, man. The angels bringing that report to the Most High constantly, bringing it to him and begging, Lord, when will thee avenge us? Scriptures say the souls of the dead in Christ cry out to the Most High under the altar and say, when wilt thou avenge us, Lord? When wilt thou avenge us? Christ is in the heavens with the Most High, with the angels, Revelation 19 and 11, with the armies in heaven, and they just waiting for their orders, man. They can't wait. Our King loved to drink wine. This come, meeting. I'm across the street. No sweat. Salaki, excuse the officer to get down for 1 minute. You know what I'm saying? He'll be back in a few minutes. You understand? In Revelation, it says, man, the Lord said her sins have reached unto heaven. That's a heavy thing, man. Her sins have reached unto heaven, meaning all our evil, all, like I said, all the murder from Gad to all the tribes, man. The Most High is remembering what they did. The Most High, he bringing them up. You understand? Her sins have reached unto heaven, meaning the report. Lord, is it time yet? Lord, can we handle this? Can you give the order? I was about to say, our king, he loved to drink some wine. Everybody know that, right? He loved to drink some wine. You understand? So much that evil men and women tried to say he was a drunk. They said he is a wine bibber, man. A wine bibber biblically is a drunk. Somebody who drinks too much wine. It's one thing to drink, but then they say you a wine bibber. That means you go in excess of wine. You're drinking too much wine. Scripture don't say how much wine you can drink. It don't say how much strong drink you can drink. You understand? But if you're drinking to the point where you're hurting yourself, hurting your health, or hurting other people, or doing something that's dishonorable, like if you drink so much to where you dishonor yourself, then you drink too much. Then you're an alcoholic. Then you should go to the AA meetings, man. And we can help you. We can help you get out of that too. You understand? That's what it means. You understand? And they called him a wine bibber, but our king, he was sinless. He never committed a sin. Right. So he was not an alcoholic, even though he liked to drink. Nothing wrong with that. You understand? If you drink and you rip your clothes off and run down the street naked, you have a problem. You might be a wine bibber. Right. I done heard sisters in council, they didn't come to council and say, General, I go to parties and whatnot. I start drinking, and then I kind of fall back into my own self. One sister, she shocked me. She said, General, I was in there and I'm drinking and everything is fine. I'm drinking. Then I started to feel like the old me. And I started seeing all these sexy guys, and I wanted to do them all. I said, oh, Lord. Well, alcohol ain't good for you, sis. You should stop. You shouldn't go to clubs. It's not a sin to go to a club, but if going to a club make you want to be a whore, don't go to clubs. If drinking make you want to be a whore or a homo or any other dishonorable, sinful, unlawful thing, you should stop. You should stop. You understand? Read Revelation 18, 5? Good. 5 and 6.
That's the book of Revelation, chapter 18 and verse 5. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God have remembered her iniquities.
And the Most High have remembered her iniquities, man. He remembered her iniquities. The report is being brought to him. Now it's getting close to the time to deal with them. You understand? We in the last days. And the report is coming, Lord. We in the last days. When can we get that order, Lord? We ready. Christ said he ain't going to drink no more wine until he drink it with his brothers in the kingdom, man. So a man that loved wine like he loved wine, all this time he been gone, he ain't had one sip. One sip. Why? Because he want to drink it with Yediah, man. He want to drink it with Commander General Yohana. He want to drink it with General Hyde. He want to drink that wine with Gadalhar. He want to drink that wine with Yashimar and Yatazak, man. Tazarya. Shawarya Allah, man. He want to drink that wine with Ashaparia, Kathamgabar. He want to drink that wine with us, brothers and sisters. And he ain't had a sip yet. Then you know he wants some. You know he wants some. So why don't we show him that we right, man, so the Lord can give that order so he can have that wine. So he can have the wine, man. Read.
Sir, verse 6. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, to her fill her double.
All the death, all the murder, all the atrocities, that's the cup she done filled. Talking about America, white America. The cup they done filled is oppression, terrorism, brutality. That's the cup she filled. And the Lord says she's going to get that cup right back, but double. It's going to be a bigger cup for her. A bigger cup is for America. Now give me that first question.
Salakia, sir. Question on the people that rose out of the ground when Yahushua gave up the spirit. There was an earthquake as well. Can I get a breakdown on that from Opposite Times of War?
No sweat. Let's get that. Matthew 27 and 50. Matthew 27 and 50. So the brother said, the question is about the people that rose out of the ground when Yahushua gave up the spirit, when he was murdered. And he said there was an earthquake as well. He just wants some understanding on it. So let's get it. You'll find that in Matthew 27 and 50. I'm going to go to about 54.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 27 and verse 50. Jesus, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the spirit.
So Yahushua, he on the cross, and they did all them evil things he did to him. They usually stabbed the prisoners that they put on them crosses just so they can, and break their legs. They usually break their legs so they can hurry up and die. So they went to break Christ's legs, and he was dead already. You understand? But before he died, right before he gave up the spirit, he yelled with a loud voice. Read it again.
When he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the spirit.
So he died. His spirit left his body. Go ahead.
Verse 51. And behold, the veil of the temple was rent in twain from the top to the bottom.
So the temple had a covering on it called a veil, and it ripped. When he screamed out, and cried out and gave up the spirit, the veil on the temple ripped from top to bottom. Go ahead.
And the earth did quake.
And the earth, there was an earthquake. Imagine that. The brother, you understand? Then give up the spirit and die. And then the earth starts shaking. And the veil on the temple ripped. It's shaking so violent. Go ahead.
And the rocks rent.
And the earth is shaking so hard that the rocks start to break up. Go ahead.
Verse 52. And the graves which were opened, and many bodies of the saints which slept arose.
And the graves were opened. The graves opened up. And the people that slept or were dead, the Israelites that were dead, they came up out of those graves. Go ahead.
And came up out of their graves after his resurrection, and went unto the holy city, and appeared unto many.
And came out of the graves after the resurrection, went to the holy city, and appeared unto many. Go ahead.
Now when the centurion and they that were with him.
Now, this is important. When the centurion and they that were with him, go ahead.
Watching Jesus, saw the earthquake.
When they were looking at Yahweh Shaddai, they watching the man on the cross dying. Now, everybody did. There was a lot of people out there. Go ahead.
And those things that were done.
When they felt that earthquake and they saw the veil rent and they saw those things that were done, the graves open, the rocks breaking up. Go ahead.
They feared greatly.
They what?
They feared greatly.
Go ahead.
Saying, truly, this was the Son of God.
They said, truly, this was the Son of God. Why did these things happen? They happened so that the people around him and these centurions and soldiers and everybody who felt this quake and saw these things happen, they would know that this wasn't an ordinary guy that they just murdered. This wasn't just anybody. This was the Son of God that they just murdered. This was the Messiah that they just murdered. These were signs that happened when he died, when he was murdered, to show everybody that basically y'all just fucked up. To speak in black terms, y'all just fucked up and did a horrible thing by giving him to these white people, by murdering this man, because he wasn't no ordinary cat. This was a man with authority from the Most High, or else why would all these things happen when he give up the spirit? So your answer, brother, this was a sign for the people around to see that this was the Son of the Most High, the Messiah that was prophesied in the Old Testament, that they just murdered and put to death. You understand? Slocky. Let's go to the next one. Time check.
Time check, sir, 12:40.
Okay, go ahead.
Khan, verse 2. So like the second question. Someone left a message saying their friend is interested in coming into the truth. I gave them your number, and if they come in, I'm coming in.
No, sir. If I could, a sister sent me a message, right? Sent me a message, said, I gave somebody your number. I gave a friend of mine your number because, she was interested in your school, in the Israelite school of UPK. And this is a sister who comments on brothers' posts, and she's been watching us for a while, but she don't come in. I knew the sister in the world, you understand? So she texts me a lot, send me messages. And she said, this other sister, who I also knew, she said I knew, I'm not familiar with the name, but she said she's interested in coming and joining the ISUPK and coming to class. I gave her your number. I said, that's fine. She said, listen, give her a call when she calls, or, if she calls, just tell her how to get in. If she joined the school, I'll join the school. You understand? That's the message she sent me. And that was it. I didn't respond, but it let me see, this truth, this ain't a club, just a fun club to join with your buddy. You know what I'm saying? This ain't nothing. It's fine if you come in together. I came in with brothers, you know what I'm saying? But we always wanted to serve the Lord and try to come in here and really do it, you know what I'm saying? And if they would have left, I wouldn't have left. And I'm sure if I would have left, they wouldn't have left. You know what I'm saying? But this is a sister who sound like if she come, I'll come. But if she happened to leave at some point or don't have no faith, I'm out of there too because I roll with her. You know what I'm saying? This ain't that kind of place, man. This is about serious business of the Lord. You understand? Serious business of the Lord. And it's dangerous if you come in just because he or she comes in. You understand? You come to class just because he or she comes to class. You playing with the Lord. You know what I'm saying? The scriptures say, make your election sure. Make your election sure. Be serious about this thing. A lot of people are muted. Be serious about it. Can I go to Matthew 20? Where am I? 2 Peter 1 and 10.
If I can add to that, sir.
Get down.
Confession is good for the soul, Before I came into the truth, I came into my first day in class. I brought, my best friend. And he was begging me, that whole week to come to class. And he finally dragged me out. Finally had to say, why don't I go with it? And then, Jeremiah Yaka'ala was teaching. He told us that we couldn't sleep with whores and eat tuna no more. I ain't seen my homie since.
God, I remember he died and told me. I said, what's up with that brother that used to come with you, man? He said, he can't give up the tuna. You heard him with the tuna, General. I said, well, I ain't heard him. The Lord heard him. I think he smoked a little weed too, right? Smoke a little weed. I mean, we done all been there, but when we came in here, we were serious and gave up the weed and the goddamn tuna. You think I ain't never had a tuna fish sandwich? I didn't know. You understand? But gave it the hell up. Why? Because Yahweh Shah is worth it. Right. He's worth it. That's why. You understand? He's worth giving up the weed, not being a damn drug addict. He's worth it. He's worth not being a whore and a drug dealer and a half a homo out here in these streets, man. You understand? A lot of us grow up in the world, we think threesomes is fine. We think being next to a whole naked-ass man with this whore, we think it's just fun time, especially when you're drunk. You know what I'm saying? Halfway leading to homosexuality. Give you an excuse. Oh, my God, what happened? Did we? Hey, brother, did we? Oh, my God, we was drunk. Let's get drunk again. You know what I'm saying? That's what mostly happens in the world. But you come in the truth, boy, you better leave all that nastiness, man. All them bad habits. You got to. You got to. And that's how the Lord worked too. He'll bring them two sisters in, and the one that I know, she'll end up going away. And that one that's interested, she'll end up locking in and staying. Like your daddy said, that's what happened to him. That's what happened to General Haas. General Haas got down with some brothers that was in here before him. You understand? And those brothers turned out to be weak punks, man. Weak punks. And when the shit hit the fan and the smoke cleared, I said, the hell with them homos. I'm UPK for life. You understand? And Haas still here rolling strong as hell. Why? Because even though the Lord brought them all in together and they were friends, the Lord was looking for Haas, man. The wheat and the tares, man. Tares getting peeled off slowly but surely in these last days. Make your election sure. Where we at? Matthew 27 and 50? No, Slocky, that keeps it. 2 Peter 1 and 10.
Karawakan. This is the book of 2 Peter, chapter 1 and verse 10. Wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure.
Like I just said, make your calling. Be diligent, man. And make your calling. You being called in here, you better make it sure. You better shore it up, meaning secure it. Secure your position. These seats ain't guaranteed at all. Not even today. You in the truth right now today. Don't get comfortable. Oh, I got this. I'm cool. You ain't cool, man. Endure until the end that ye may be saved. That's what our king said. That's what he said. Read.
Or if you do these things, ye shall never fall.
Go ahead.
For so an entrance shall be ministered unto you abundantly into the everlasting kingdom of our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shah Mashiach.
Listen, if you stick with it and you make your election and your calling, if you secure it and get up in this work and do what you got to do in here and be faithful toward the Most High, you'll get that kingdom that's coming, man. That's a great city coming to this earth. Great and wonderful. And that's fire we got to go through to get it. You can do it. Give me second. I keep saying the scripture I'm about to go to. Second Ezra's in the Apocrypha. 7 and 7. You understand? There's a great thing coming, man. If you stick up in here, if you come in here and lock in and do it with a sincere heart, do it for the right reason, man. You come up in here angry, oh man, these cats in here always talking like they big and bad. Always. Well, why the hell you want to sit amongst us then? You feel like we big talkers and just talking like we big and bad and talking like we know what we talking about. We do know what the hell we talking about. And we only bad because the Most High is with us. Without him, we're nothing. We're weak just like you. So if you come in here, be ready to be serious, man. Coming through the fire. A young brother sent me a message concerned about Hebrew Academy. He said, yeah, I know you can't tell me what's going to happen in Hebrew Academy, but can you give me some advice to prepare for it? I said, brother, prepare for war. He said, what do you mean war? I said, hey, I said something like left him hanging. You know what I'm saying? Well, what do you want from me? You just prepare for war. I said, if I can give you some advice, start to jog a little bit. You know what I mean? Do some push-ups. Meaning you can get through the beginning of it easy. Yeah, I mean, if you come in there out of shape, you're gonna get in shape. You understand? You're gonna have to, or it's gonna be hard, very hard for you. You understand? But you can start now and do little things, to tone yourself up or to get ready. You know what I mean? Go start off with walks. You know what I'm saying? Start off with walks, make it faster, go a little slow jog, turn into a jog, turn into a run. You got time, man, before it starts. What's the date? August 30th, man. So you can prepare until then, just to make it a little easier, man. But listen, once you go through that fire at Hebrew Academy, August 29th, no sweat. At the end of it, brothers, if you make it, if General Muhammad ain't kicked you out, or if I ain't scared you, or if we ain't embarrassed you, a lot of brothers get frustrated. Certain of them trials, we may see how you handle frustration. You understand? So now, if you make it to the end, it's gonna be nothing more glorious, man. Nothing more glorious. You're gonna look around at your fellow brothers who made it and didn't fall off, and you're gonna be bonded forever, man. Forever. You understand? It's a wonderful thing. So to all you brothers joining Hebrew Academy, my advice would just be prepare for war. That's all. No excuses. Where we at?
Second Ezra chapter 7 and verse 7.
Go ahead.
The entrance thereof is narrow
And
set at a dangerous place to fall, like as there are a fire on the right hand and on the left a deep water.
Go ahead.
And only one path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once.
That's why our king said the kingdom of heaven is narrow. I'm paraphrasing. That is narrow, and very few it be that go in. Because the ways of the world, again paraphrasing, is broad. It's broad, and everybody gets down with that. Everybody gets down with what the world teaches. You understand? But the truth and the strictness of this truth in the ISUPK and the commandments and the rules of the Most High and Yahushua is very strict and narrow. You understand? But if you go through it, if you walk in it, at the end, you're going to have a wonderful thing, man. It said it's so small, only one man could go through at a time. So you might want to come in with your friend. That's fine. But your faith can't be in the fact that your friend is here. That can't be where your faith is. Go to Matthew 24 and 37. Because in the end, the Lord going to be choosing. In the end, choice is going to be made. You understand? You at home bullshit thinking, listen, I know how to say shalom, Yahweh, Shem Yahweh. I know how to say that. I salute the brothers. They don't know I'm home BSing. You understand? They don't know I'm murmuring and backbiting and starting sister groups. They don't know I'm conferring and counseling with Christian Israelites behind everybody's back. They don't know that I'm sinning without nobody knowing. They don't know that, but the Lord knows. The Lord knows. And he only going to allow one person to come through at a time, man. Spiritually. And in the end, this is what's going to happen. Go ahead.
The book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 37. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
So the Lord's saying, our King is telling us, just like during the time of Noah, where nobody believed Noah. They thought he was crazy building that ark on dry land. But he got orders from the Most High, and he did his work. The Lord saying it's the same. That's the same way it's going to be during the time of Christ. And we in the time of the Son of Man. We in the coming of the Son of Man, where everybody thinks we're crazy. They don't believe us, but we got our orders, and we building that spiritual ark on these streets, man. And the flood is about to come again in the name of fire. In the name of fire, the flood is about to come again. Read.
Verse 38, for as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage.
Living everyday life. Eating and drinking, marrying and giving marriage, having babies, raising families, buying homes, going to work, providing for the family. Go ahead.
Until the day that Noah entered unto the ark.
And they lived their everyday, normal little Christian life, little everyday civilian life, until Noah got in that ark and that water started to come. And the rain started to come, and it started raining and raining and raining, and raining and raining and raining. A week later, raining and raining and raining and flooding and raining and flooding and raining. Then their little civilian lives didn't seem so safe no more. Then they thought, well, damn, why is this happening? What's going on? Maybe I've been living the wrong life. Read.
Khan Khan. And knew not until the flood came and took them all away.
And then it was too late. Then it was too late because the flood came and took them the hell away. They didn't want to be taken away. I'm sure they tried to swim to Noah in that day. Tried to call out, where Noah at? Get the rafts out. Tried to get on, probably banging on the bottom of the boat. That's what I picture all the time, you die. You and them hanging on the bottom of that boat, boom, boom, boom. Noah is not allowed to let them in by orders of the Most High. Read.
So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
Same way it's going to be when Christ comes back. A lot of us ain't going to make it. Christ said he's going to say to a lot of us, man, we're going to say, Lord, Lord, haven't I done this and haven't I done that? The Lord going to say, get thee away from me. I never knew you. You understand? I never knew you. All the time you think you serving the Lord and Lord this and now Jesus and hallelujah. A lot of these Christians and Christian Israelites going to find out the hard way. Our king going to say, I never knew you. Farrakhan, all of a sudden he believe in Jesus now, always talking about Jesus and the disciples and Israelites now. He always talking about them. He going to catch a bad day too because he's still trying to feed Israelites with Islam. After he done set out his own goddamn mouth that the children of Israel are black people, man. He's still trying to feed us with Islam. Also, if anybody, there's a tape out there I saw one time and could not find it again, where Farrakhan said before his congregation that Mary was a white woman. The mother of Christ was a white woman, and so because of that, we have to open Allah and God to white people too. And then he snapped and said, I know some of y'all mad, but I don't give a damn. Y'all don't like it. You can get the hell out of here. We got to do what God wants. That's what he said, something real similar to what I just said. If y'all know where that video is, please get that to me or Officer Yediah. So read.
Khan Khan, sir. Verse 39. And knew not, verse 40. Then shall be in the field, the one shall be taken and the other left.
It's going to be separation, man. The Lord going to separate the wheat from the tares. Every Israelite ain't going to make it. I still pray for them. I pray for all Israel that we all make it and hope the Lord change his mind, man, with his mercy, because he's great at mercy. That's his greatest attribute. But prophecy says all of us ain't going to make it. Read.
2 women shall be grinding at the mill. The one shall be taken and the other left.
One taken and the other left. What verse you at?
Verse 40. The end of 41.
Okay, go ahead.
42.
No, that's it. Matthew 7 and 21 now. Then I'm going to try to slide in that last question. Matthew 7 and 21. So be very careful, man. Be very careful when you're trying to come to class or come into the truth, not with no faith, man, or through false pretenses. Because this is serious business. That's why I don't force this on nobody, man. I don't force this on nobody. I done told plenty of brothers, man. Brothers be, they family members, drug addicts, and go through different things. And they be trying to plead with these people and their families and plead with their friends. Like, come on, man, you should come on in, man. I know you like whores and you like this and like that, but you should still come on in so we can show you love. I know you smoke cigarettes and you still getting high, but come on in, man, and you can begin to change. The brothers will still love you, man. We know people got problems and all that. And you bring these sinners amongst us, or try to bring these sinners amongst us, man, and they disrespect you to your face. They disrespect the truth while you pleading with them. You pleading with them trying to be good and loving, and they say, man, you always talking that shit. You always talking that old Israelite. Not today, man. Tomorrow when my head is clear, man. Come on, nigga. They disrespect you to your face while you in the ISUPK talking about, come on, we still love you. We can love you. That's Christian, man.
Right.
Don't be so goddamn Christian. Don't force this truth on no sinners. And who told you that we want them sinners amongst us, man?
Right.
Nigga out here sleeping with white women and whores and all that. I don't want that sitting amongst our brother. We got to smell him. He probably smell like sin. Or bring some whore up in here. They don't really want to come to class, don't really like the truth at all, but you trying to force her because you think something magical going to happen when she's sitting in here smelling like full-out buttocks. When she's sitting in here smelling like full-out private parts, up in the class with a dress on, smelling foul. You think some miraculous thing going to happen and she going to change. When she telling you she don't want to go. She don't want to go. She like her lifestyle. Trying to force these sinners amongst us. You understand? The Lord gonna separate you if you come up in here any false pretenses, man. Read.
Conor McCon, it's the book of Matthew, chapter 7, and verse 21. Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Look at that. Not everybody talking about Yahweh gonna be in the kingdom. Yahweh Barakatah Yahweh, brother. We got next, brother. Yeshua, man. Yeshua gonna come and this and this and this. And oh, Yisrael gonna be this and Yisrael. Yisrael's gonna be this. Yahweh, hallelujah. They say some old funny hallelujah word. I forget what it is right now. Hallelujah. What was it? You understand? I know the Hebrew word for hallelujah is hallelujah, but they mix a whole bunch of English with the goddamn Yiddish with the Hebrew. It's amazing, man. Read. Where you call off where you at?
Conor McCon is the book of Matthew, chapter 7, and verse 21. Not every one that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven. But he that doeth the will of my Father, which is in heaven.
And do the will with a faithful heart, man. Do the will of the Most High. The Most High wants you to obey his commandments and laws and get in his work and love it, man. He wants you to enjoy following his commandments. He wants you to understand the beauty and the gloriousness of following him, man. Read.
Verse 22, many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name?
A lot of you think you're doing the word of the Lord out there, man. Christians think they the king of God. They think they the God king. What you doing with that Bible up there? Screaming through that microphone. You Christians have said that to us over the years. Like you offended that we even got the Bible. Like you own the Bible, like you own Jesus. You understand? You swear you prophesied in his name. Go ahead. Shy, talking a bunch of mess. Shy. Swinging, relieving that old charlatan who swing his jacket and the whole crowd fall out. Like he got some power. Read.
And in thy name have cast out devils.
And you think you cast out demons. You think you done got rid of unclean spirits. Go ahead.
And in thy name done many wonderful works.
And you think you one with God. God is my personal savior. I mean, over the years you died, I done spoke to a few beautiful women who told me, well, they don't want no man because Jesus is their man. God damn, I can't get with all that because Jesus is your man, huh? He don't want you. Jesus died. A few of them had to tell you, Jesus don't want you. Come on, man. I'm the only one who wants you. You understand? You understand? Jesus is my man. You Christians is unbelievable, man. And then I found out that damn near every chick that say Jesus is my man, she's whoring out of both draw legs at night.
Right.
Whoring. Go ahead.
Conor McCon. And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you.
What are you going to say?
I never knew you.
A lot of us going to find out a bad thing in these last days, man. When the shit hit the fan and the smoke clear, you don't want our king to say, I never knew you. That would break me in a million pieces. I mean, I would die. I would literally die right there. If I looked at my king and he said, I don't know you, I would die. Oh, I think I would do worse than die. You die. Whatever it is that's worse than dying and death and destruction, I would go there. I would be no more good. I mean, the Lord I'd ask the Most High to erase my spirit from existence. I don't want to be here no more. You understand? Right. I don't want to come back, nothing. Right. You understand? That's a horrible thing if Yahweh Shah said, I never knew you. Go ahead.
Depart from me, ye that work iniquity.
Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. Go ahead. Go ahead. Depart. Oh, man. And depart from me? First he said, I never knew you. Then he said, depart from me. What time is it? I'm going to get this last question, and I'm going to go over a few minutes, brothers and sisters. So that's what it is. So, sister, that's fine. If your friend call and she come on in, I hope she come in and remain the daughter of Zion. I hope you do too. But please don't come into ISUPK playing no game. Because we don't play Jackson here. We don't do double dutch. We ain't got no flowers. You ain't going to come in here and get that good lion feeling you get in church. We ain't got no choir. Ain't no organ in here. Our sisters in the ISUPK, they are soldiers. I got to say straight up. They are soldiers, hardcore, and they know that honoring and supporting the prophet of the Lord is the most beautiful thing on earth. That's what they know. We don't want no sisters up in here. Well, I'll obey a man long as he whatever. What? You'll obey him as long as he do this other crap that you got in your head, huh? Please read.
Shalom, General Yahweh Shem Yahshua. Was Christ risen on the third day or the fourth day?
No sweat. And the brother brought up Matthew 12 and 40. So let's go into it. This be quick. Read Matthew 12 and 40 first.
The book of Matthew, chapter 12 and verse 40. Mm-hmm. For as Jonah was 3 days.
3 days. The scriptures say 3 days. Go ahead.
And 3 nights in the whale's belly. So shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth.
All right, now keep that in mind. Go to Luke 23. Luke 23 and 44. Then I'm going to go to Luke 24 for the last scripture. So Jonas was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly. Scriptures say, so shall Christ, Yahweh says, so shall he be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of earth. Go ahead. 23 and 22. Luke 20, where am I? Luke 23 and 44.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 23 and verse 44. And it was about the 6th hour, and there was a darkness over all the earth.
Now, Hebrew time, right? The 6th hour is about about 6 in the morning. No. Salaki, I think that's the first hour. First hour is about 6 in the morning. Dawn. About that 6ish time where it's dawn, where the sun, where the light coming out. The 6th hour is about noon, like afternoon. Go ahead.
Until the 9th hour.
Read it again from the top.
And it was about the 6th hour, and there was a darkness over all the earth.
So, go ahead.
Until the 9th hour.
Until the 9th hour. So there was a darkness upon the earth until the 9th hour, till I guess around 3ish. They call that late afternoon. Go ahead.
Verse 45. And the sun was darkened, and the veil of the temple was rent in the midst.
And this is the same time the question the brother answered when Yahushua gave up the ghost. There was an earthquake, the veil ripped, the rocks broke up, and the graves opened. It's that same time. So now the sun was darkened, the veil of the temple was rent in the mix. And go ahead.
And when Jesus had cried with a loud voice, he said, Father, into thy hands I commend my spirit. Having said thus, he gave up the spirit.
Then he died. He gave up the spirit. His spirit left his body, went to the Most High. He said, I commend my spirit. Go ahead. Into thy hands, the hands of the Most High. Go ahead.
Now when the centurion saw that was done, he glorified God, saying, certainly this was a righteous man.
Look at what the centurion said. Once again, the question the brother asked earlier, it was done for the people around to see that this was him. Like if there was any doubt before they murdered Christ on who he was, they knew after he was murdered. They knew after he was murdered, and in 2021, we still honoring him in 2021. So the earth learned who he was after they murdered him. Go ahead.
And all the people that came together to that sight, beholding the things that were done, smote their breasts in return, and all his acquaintance and the women that followed him from Galilee stood afar off, beholding these things.
Go to Luke 24 and 1.
It's the book of Luke, chapter 24, verse 1. Now upon the first day of the week.
So now, and I bring that out just because, so he died, let me see. He died, it was the third, the sun was darkened. It was about the 3rd hour. It's like the 9th hour, really, around noonish, you know what I'm saying, where around that time, he gave up the goat around late afternoon, coming unto sundown, coming unto the sundown. Go ahead.
Luke 24:1. Now, upon the first day of the week.
Now, this is the first day of the week. This is Sunday. Everybody knows Sunday is the first day of the week biblically. Go ahead.
Verily early in the morning.
Very early in the morning. Go ahead.
They came into the sepulchre, bringing the spices which they had prepared.
And these are the sisters that rode with Christ and rode with the disciples. They came the first day of the week. They came into where they knew he was buried at. You understand? It's like with spices and everything. That was our custom. Spices and wrap you up nice and put spices on you, make you smell good. Go ahead.
And certain others with them.
Uh-huh.
And they found the stone rolled away from the sepulchre. Mm-hmm. And they entered in and found not the body of the Lord Jesus.
So this first day of the week, they come early. It was early in the morning, already sunrise, already dawn. They came and they rolled the stone from where they buried him at, from the sepulchre, and found what?
And they entered in and found that the body of the Lord Jesus.
They found not the body of the Lord Yahushua. They found he wasn't there. Go ahead.
Verse 4. And it came to pass, as they were much perplexed thereof about it, behold, two men stood by them in shining garments.
There were angels in there. Instead of Yahushua, there were two angels in there. While they stand there confused, like, where you go? What happened to Yahushua? The two angels were there. Go ahead.
And as they were afraid and bowed down their faces to the earth.
And when they saw the angels, they got afraid. Oh my God. Like they knew this was from the Lord. They knew, well, oh my God, what's about to happen? And they bowed their faces. Go ahead.
They said unto them, why seek ye the living among the dead?
And they said, why, what y'all came here to see somebody, find somebody alive? I thought he died. Read.
He is not here, but is risen.
He's not here, but yes, he has risen. Go ahead.
Remember how he spake unto you when he was yet in Galilee, saying.
And the angels reminded them, y'all remember in Galilee what he said, right? Go ahead.
Saying the Son of Man must be delivered into the hands of sinful men.
He reminded them of what Yahushua taught. And he said, remember, they taught y'all that he got to be delivered unto these evil bastards, these sinful men. Go ahead.
And be crucified.
And be murdered. Read.
And the third day rise again.
Read that again.
And the third day rise again.
Read it one more time.
And the third day rise again.
So your question, was Christ risen on the third and fourth day? The scriptures tell you he rose on the third day. And the third day he rose again. Now, I know a lot of times we get caught up into thinking day means 24 hours. Right. Or night means the whole 12 hours. Or we get caught up into that. You understand? But it's not like that. If he rose Sunday morning, then 3 days prior, you can count back. That's when he died. You understand? That's when he died. Y'all could do the math, but he rose on the third day is the answer because it's in the scripture. And that you can't. If you say fourth day, somebody gonna fight you on it because ain't no proof of that. You understand? But he brought up 3 days with Jonah. He said 3 days and 3 nights. He gonna rise just like Jonah. And the angel reminded them what he taught, because he taught them he gonna rise on the third day. You understand? That's what he taught. So that's the answer. I done went over the time. Anything you want to add, your dad? No sweat. The water, y'all, for tuning in, man. The water, I really appreciate it. Actually, the prophets, man. I'll see y'all next week. Send in them questions, man. We're going to new questions. There's some that they sent over last week that I ain't going to, but I'll get into them next week. And any topics and stories that you think is relevant and want to go into, y'all can send that too. You understand? Once again, support us, man. Go to Actually the Prophets, the donation. It's Actually the Prophets. Go donate, man. On the Actually the Prophets 1 second. Oh, the GoFundMe. The GoFundMe, Actually the Prophets GoFundMe. Donate no matter how small. No matter how small, it's all beautiful, man. It's all going to help. You understand? I'm trying to make this thing fly and rock it out for y'all. Y'all done did good, man. The water for the brothers and sisters who donated, man. I really want people in the world to donate who listening and hearing us and learning and all that. And they should appreciate it, man. And they should pay their tithes and they should send a donation. You understand? To support Actually the Prophets and the other shows, whatever. You understand? That's what they should do. They ain't up in here in the work. They at the slavery at their jobs. They should be supporting financially. You understand? But all the brothers that's in the school already doing the work, still giving donations, man. And I appreciate it, brothers and sisters. You understand? AskYeTheProphets@gmail.com or Facebook Ask Ye the Prophets. Send in whatever you need to talk about, man, and we'll go into it. We are the prophets of the Lord. And the ISUPK houses the only prophets of the Most High in Christ. Right. Shalom, Israel.
Hey, I'm just following orders. Let me get one of those slow motion pictures, bro. One of the slow motion pictures.
You gotta shoot at 60 frames per second.
Come on, that.
They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move and coach shit. As if they make the wrong move and post shit. You see me, they like, ooh, chemo shopping. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. I'm on my way. Coming up on my bullshit. They see me, they like, ooh, chemo shopping. I'm on my body. Real niggas right beside me. Damn right, I brought my army, going up like a rocket, and can't nobody stop me. These niggas garbage, so watch your mouth, boy. Coming all black, slithering house, call me mouth, boy. I'm off the hip like a cowboy. I'm a king, you should bow, boy. Shorty like that, man, you cut up. Nothing I can handle. 144 with a booth going Rambo. Niggas do you dirty like a stick in a bando. That's why I play the corner like a bum with a banjo. I'ma lead by example. Keep on sobbing, got this bitch off the hand, got this juice, got the drip, about to hit the bitch with the soap. It ain't rap, this is soap. Can't taste a bitch unless you with the coke. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move and coach shit. As if they make the wrong move and coach shit. Coming up on my I do it how a veteran be. You better than me. I'm Reggie at the edge of the key. It's all money, no honey. Think you settling? See, you locked up, fucked up, and it's back to the streets. It's one west. You can check the residency. I reside with soldiers died on the soles of their feet. Cause it's death before designer. Ain't no coward in me. Cause I'm cold as a bitch's shoulder. You ain't calling a week. Get the cooking on his beat. Hope you like it well done. Got them killers rolling with me and they all red rum, red rum, red rum. Got you fucking scared some. Get the banging on his beat till my fucking head numb. Black block, red drum, black and yellow air ones. Homie, you ain't got a vest. I suggest you wear one.
Told these niggas we was going up. Doing a lot of talking. Now these niggas ain't saying shit.
Feeling like a legend in this shit. Lil nigga, I'm past veteran. Never feeling third. Lil nigga, I'm past second. Guns, I gotta have them all like Ash Ketchum. Shotty break a nigga ribs up like his wife left him. We all stepping. Kill you with kindness cause I'm dead nice. That 5'7" put you 6 feet, not talking height. That judge giving out 5, what you doing life. These hands are rude GPS. A mean right. That's mean right. We build different, you know the vibes. And we saved it authentic, we notarized. I keep a 144 because I know a kind. Noah's Ark, you know I'm with animals when we flowing by. We back again, no cap, when I'm with cap again. Yeah, they said they want smoke until we matching them. Everything righteous, so you know when we get back at them, you get hit up with a K, but no acronym. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move and coach shit. As if they make the wrong move and coach shit. See me, they like, ooh, keep on shopping. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it.